question that I get a lot is, how should I first approach the one-arm handstand? What drills should I be training first? If you're also wondering the same thing, then stick around to the very end because the drills I'm about to show you in this video can definitely help you get there. But before that, please do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Just by hitting that like button, you're telling YouTube to bump these videos up for people that has never been exposed to my videos before, and it will just help this channel grow so much and a lot faster. So if you guys can hit like, subscribe, even leave a comment below, that would be very much appreciated. All right, so let's talk about the first drill, and that is the wide to narrow drill. In this drill, we're basically going to enter into a straddle position first with our hands in a much more narrow position to start with. So maybe hands almost touching each other with thumbs together. From there, we're gonna swing our legs to the left. You can start with the right first, it doesn't matter. And then you're gonna open the opposite arm. So if you're swinging your hips or your legs to the left, then the right arm is gonna open into the wider position. And if you're swinging your hips or legs to the right, then your left arm is going to open to the wider position. Stay there for a few seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, and make sure you have stability and control. That is the most important thing here. And from there, we're basically going to swing our legs to the same direction as before, and then bringing our hands back into the narrow position. Then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So let's take a look at how it's done. So starting with your hands in a little bit more narrow position than normal, I'm going to swing my legs to one side and opening the arm to the opposite way. And going back the same way, so I'm swinging to my left again and bringing it back to narrow. Here, swinging to the right, opening the left arm to a wider stance, swinging to the right again, and opening, or closing rather, back to a narrow stance. Left again, I'm going to freeze it right here. Look at my left arm, that is the new center, and everything else is stacked on top of the left shoulder. Meanwhile, the right arm, the right elbow is slightly lifted, getting ready to open my right arm to the side. This is important because this is essentially a little one-arm position. It's just you're on your fingertips, and when you're open, you're actually free. Here we are, back to two arms. Back to the left arm again, swinging in the same direction, everything on top of the left shoulder here, and especially the opposite hip, which is the right hip, that needs to be stacked right on top of the working shoulder or arm. And then now my right side is getting ready to come back into the middle, which is more narrow. Let's go to the right, freeze it right here, left hip on top of the right shoulder. And then now, everything is on top of the right arm. Therefore, my left arm can be free, and then I can open it back to a wider position, like here. Same thing, lean a little bit more, this time to the right, because now I'm covering more distance with my arms a little bit wider. From here, everything is on top of my right shoulder and arm, and then I'm getting ready to bring the left arm back into a more narrow stance. Pay attention to the timing of the shifting of your feet and legs, and then also the pushing of the arm as well. That would determine the quality of the weight shifts, and not so much just brute strength or just straight pushing. You need your legs and hips to be in the right place for the push to be engaged and distributed well in terms of your weight. This is a great beginner one-arm drill because you're basically mimicking the weight shift to one arm just momentarily without the pressure or the burden to hold every one of them. In order to free your arm to change the narrow to wide position, you're going to have to stack your body weight on top of the working shoulder or arm. And the great part is you're only doing this momentarily in a passing moment, so you can slowly condition your arm to bear that weight, because in the beginning, I promise you, you're not going to be used to that heavy weight and heavy load onto your arm and wrist. So this is a great time to start letting your body condition to that weight. You're training the muscle memory and the one-arm handstand transitions and entries on top of everything else. Each time you shift your weight onto one side, make sure your shoulder stays in the middle and everything else is on top of it. And in the next 3 drills, you're basically going to be doing a variation or progression of this very narrow to wide drill. So before even trying the next set of drills, make sure you're doing this one pretty smoothly and easily first. I know it might not give you the satisfaction or feeling that you're training the one-arm handstand right away because you're not holding anything, but let me tell you, the one-arm handstand position is a lot more dynamic than you might think. So really work on getting light on your hands while shifting the weight and maneuvering your legs from side to side without being too stiff. The next drill is the next progression from the narrow to wide drill that we just did. And this time, we're gonna be in a straddle position again, and we're gonna be walking from side to side. The approach is very similar to the last drill. We're basically gonna swing your legs in one direction, open your arms, widen the stance, and this time, we're gonna swing the legs in the opposite way immediately afterwards so that you can free up the other hand in order to keep walking laterally. So there will be a bit more coordination and timing involved compared to the previous drill, which is super important because the timing of the weight shift and the pushing of the shoulders can really make or break your one-arm handstand training. So let's take a look at how it's done. So this time we're gonna walk laterally. We're gonna swing our legs the same way like before, except now we're gonna swing left to right with the arms pushing and pulling. Obviously, you're going to be pushing with the working arm and you're going to be pulling the opposite arm in order to lift it. We're going to freeze it right here. You see, now my legs are to the right side, my right arm is pushing, and then my left arm can be pulling up, getting ready to open it back into a wider stance. And I'm walking directly to my left. Here, I'm back into a two-arm position. Now I'm getting ready to swing my legs to the left again in order to free up my right hand, right here. Everything is on top of the left arm and left shoulder. And from there, I can free up the right arm back into the middle, swing my legs to the right again, left hip on top of right shoulder, all the way on to the right arm, getting ready to open the left arm out. And here I go, back to a wider stance and back into the middle. Each time you walk, you're getting a little one-arm hold. So if you're pretty good at doing the lateral walks, it's time to add in some level changes. One of the most important advice that you'll ever get in one-arm handstand training is push. You hear this all the time from different coaches. Basically everywhere you go, you'll hear push, push, push more, push harder. And the drill that you're about to do right now can give you that exact pushing training. And you'll do exactly that by adding some blocks into your walks. You're essentially going to be doing the same thing as the lateral walks, except you're going to go up and down the blocks like piano keys. You'll be incorporating everything you did with the swing of the hips and keeping your arms straight and the shoulders in the middle. But each time you climb up a block, you'll need to swing your legs a little bit more to the side and extend and push your shoulders a little bit more so you can climb up to the next level, which is on the block. Let's take a look at how it's done. Starting with hands between the blocks, we're gonna lean on the left, climb onto the block with the right arm, back onto the blocks, now lean to the left again, and then climb off the blocks while leaning to the right and climbing off the blocks. You're basically doing the same thing as the last drill, except now there's a little bit of a level change when it comes to the blocks. You're doing the same leaning with your legs, same pushing with your shoulders, and let's take a look at it when it's slowed down. Let's stop it right here. My legs are to my left, my right hip is on my left shoulder, and now I can free up the right arm in order to climb up onto the block. Let's go. Climb up to the block, swing a little bit more to the right side because the block is higher. So this is an important part because you need to swing and push at the same time in order to climb up. And here I am on top of the blocks. I'm going to swing my legs to my left again in order to climb back down to the floor, which should be easier than climbing back up. On the right side, my legs are to my right, my left hip on top of the right shoulder. I'm freeing my left arm in order to climb up. Let's go. And we are here. I'm going to swing a little bit more to my left and climb up and push at the same time with my left arm leaning a little bit more to the left. here I am. And I'm gonna free up the right arm by leaning more weight to the left by keeping the shoulder, left shoulder, directly on top of the block in the middle. I'm gonna hold both blocks with two hands, but right now you see basically I'm doing a little one arm with my left shoulder. So this is the drill. So after all the previous drills of swinging the legs and pushing with the shoulders, you're basically coordinating your entire body to be in sync to get ready for that one arm. So now let's put that to the test. This time, instead of doing any type of walking, you're gonna stay in the same place in the middle. And you're gonna go on one arm, but with 5-finger support on the other hand. Essentially, you're implementing all the movements from before, the leg swinging laterally, the working shoulder pushing tall and elevated, and now you're gonna stay in the middle position and hold a few seconds there before doing the other side. Of course, you'll have fingertip support. Now your new middle will be the working arm. So let's say you're swinging your legs to your left, the left arm will be that new middle, and vice versa. So let's take a look at how it's done. So here we're gonna put everything, all the progressions we learned previously onto the fingertip holds. Right now, my legs are leaning to the left, my right hip is directly on top of my left arm. My center of gravity now is on the left arm. And essentially, you want to get so comfortable here that you can slowly start to lift the free arm, which is the right arm. But that might not come for weeks or months. So you want to get really good at these entries, swinging your legs over to the side, not turning, having the opposite hip on top of the working shoulder. So in this case, my right hip on top of my left arm. And then you want to stay here and feel the balance here a little bit more and control so that you can, when you are ready, lift the right arm or even go on one finger if you can. You want to do this on both sides, and that will ensure a great way to prepare yourself for the one-arm handstand. So let's move over to the right side. See, I'm swinging my legs over to the right, my left hip on top of my right shoulder. My right arm is pushing tall. Meanwhile, my left arm is pulling back into my lat and pulling a little bit upwards with my left arm. The shoulders, you do not want it to keep it too parallel. You want the left shoulder to be a little bit higher than the right. Even though it might not look like a lot here, the reason why my left elbow is bent is because I'm pulling my left shoulder into my body. Therefore, my right arm is going to bear more weight, and then my left arm will bear less weight. And this is going to give me a closer feel of what the one arm hold really is like without any support, without any fingertips, when you're holding it freely with just one arm. So those 4 progressions are going to be really good starting points to training the one arm. By no means are they easy, especially if you want to do them smoothly with control. But that just shows you how difficult the one arm handstand truly can be, because it takes a lot more than just strength. Coordination, timing, stamina, mobility, they will all come into play and will be huge factors going forward. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you guys tried these drills yourself, and what was the feedback your body gave you when you tried these drills? Let me know, share with me in the comments, and I'll try my best to get back with you with some tips. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to my channel. Thank you for watching again all the way to the end. Have an amazing training and work hard. See you next time.